Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformer Studio Series Leader Class, Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. You can see him there in front of this box. We'll go ahead and put it off to the side real quick. And yeah, looking at the box, yes, it is a Leader Class box. You got the big old Transformers logo there in Studio Series and the Age of Extinction logo and Optimus Prime. And hey, look, there's some nice artwork of Optimus both in his robot and truck modes. A little 44 steps thing right there in 8+, and of course window with plastic because yeah, it's important, I guess. Transform the Extinction Optimus Prime logos up there. Over here, you got the big old, the artwork of the robot mode right there, Optimus Prime, Studio Series, all that stuff. On the side, you have an extension of the front artwork, and now the Autobot logo and Leader Class right there. On the bottom, you have some manufacturing details of what's included in the box, and of course, on the back, you have some copyrights warnings, some product shots, and I guess a screen cap from the movie, and it says right here, Optimus Prime battles Lockdown as he is hunted by Cemetery Wind. I do not remember Age of Extinction very well. Like, who the heck is Cemetery Wind? I don't remember. Is that the human guy? I don't remember. It's been too long. Anyway, it also comes with the instructions, not too bad for the most part. The couple parts that kind of were threw me off a little bit. It doesn't help that he's not quite transformed correctly out of the box. Anyway, Age of Extinction Optimus Prime in Studio Series, and yeah, I rather like this one. Movie, not so much, but this figure, yeah, this figure is pretty great. Getting in close a little bit, you can see, yeah, you got some details on the head. You got the little brighter blue eyes right there. Yeah, you got some detail on the head. The blue's in there. You got the flames right there, that right there, the red and blue flame stuff. You got the grays, lots of detailing picked out. It actually works really well. I don't know what it is, but this particular shade of gray, a lot of this detailing actually pops really. You got this little bit of gold right here. You got the blue and red all over the place. You got this little shoulder thing, noodles. Yeah, come down. You got those little things. These are not picked out in paint, unfortunately, but you got the little wires picked out at least in detailing. You got some gold and silver down here, red and gray in the feet. Yeah, there's exhaust pipes right here. They're not supposed to be there, but it's kind of part of the part and parcel. And he does have a bit of a backpack, but all things considered, it's not too bad, and it is removable because there is it's just a mushroom peg joint, so you can remove that if you want. Yeah, if you recall, this stuff's not plugged in right here, like out of the box. Getting into it a little bit, yeah. A lot of this backpack stuff, like this is not plugged in. This is flipped up. This was not properly set on mine, at least. And these parts right here, these side bits right here, were not properly set. So yeah, he was definitely a little. Yeah, that's part of what confused me. Was like it's telling me to do things. It's like it's not. Oh, I see. That's supposed to be like that, but it's not because it's packaged weird. But, they're kind of a good, bulky, looking dude. And his articulation, yeah, he's got a pretty good, decent articulation, too. He's got a head can go left and right and up and down a little bit. He's got a little bit of waggle. Oop, I just, pop that out. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a bit of waggle there. There's a limitation just because of his shoulder stuff. His shoulders kind of stop his head from going too far. But, yeah. Decent amount of articulation there. His shoulders do a full 360 right there and go outward, and this of course gets right out of the way, which is nice. And this can actually kind of move a little bit as well. You got a bicep swivel right there. You do have a double jointed elbow, which is nice. You can see that full curl. Yeah, these can also swivel if you need those out of the way too. This can you can see that can swivel. It can go inward. This is mostly for one particular thing, but it can go inward. You also see fingers can open and close. It's all one unit. There's no separations there, but that's something. There. The waist can swivel. It's beneath the skirt stuff, so but it can swivel. These can also get out of the way. The hips can go forward that far, backwards, about that far, outward. You do have the full splits right there. You do have a thigh swivel right there. The knees can bend about 90 degrees. And down here at the feet, you do have a lot of ankle tilts. You do have the toe can go down, the heel can go down. There's side to side swivel. So, hooray. So yeah, pretty decent amount of articulation actually. I'm rather pleased with that. And he does have a couple accessories. He does have a little axe thing, which can plug onto either arm. Again, you just have to, angle that in and then plug in like so, if you want. It's not super secure, at least not on mine. I don't know what I'm not sure. This wrist is kind of loose. I'm gonna double check this one, but I don't think it's much better over here if I remember correctly. Nah, it's actually almost arguably worse regardless. Yeah, it's just kind of It doesn't plug in super securely. It doesn't take much to start wiggling free, unfortunately. That's one thing you do though. If you want to store it away, there is a slot right here. And there's tabs right here. You got to be careful. You got to kind of hold this in place because otherwise it'll kind of pop itself loose. So make sure to hold it in the backpack in place when you put that on. But secures right back there. He also has, hey, a sword, which is, you know, picked out nicely. He's got gray with some red hilts right there. Got some nice tech detailing on it as well. See that? And that you can wield in either hand. You just can have to open up the fingers and pop it in because there's this little bump at the bottom, so it won't work if you do it otherwise. And there you go, pretty strong hold on that. He's also got his shield thing, which, well, you can also, that's the cool thing here is that you can separate out. They don't really tell you this part of the instructions really enough. You can pop these off, and look, there's little bits here. You can basically separate these out, and if I can popped out, yeah, reveal, hey look, the gun underneath, which is cool and all. He's got a peg right there, which, you know, you can theoretically hold it. Unfortunately, you see how shallow that peg is? He can barely hold it because of his thumb. And his thumb can't get it out of the way or anything. So yeah, you can just barely hold it. It doesn't take much for it to just do that. I don't know what the heck that was about. It's like this peg needs to be longer. I'm not sure if I missed something. Am I supposed to like push down on this, or is there? It doesn't extend or anything. It's just, yeah, it kind of sucks. That's the case. But of course, you can also be a shield. I put this back together. Putting that back together. There's a tab right here too, which is interesting. Yeah, you can, you know, peg it in right here, like that. You know, the shield, if you want, either arm again. So you can have that shield. And as for storage, it also comes with this, which is a little scabbard thing on the back here. Go ahead and move this up, and you plug this in right here. You can take the sword here, the sword, and slot it in. That, and this can peg onto the back right there, and there you go. Now you got storage on the back for his weapons. The only thing is, unfortunately, it kind of creates a big old thing on his backpack, you know, because this kind of has to raise up. But you know, not the worst thing. The other thing you can see is sometimes his heels aren't great because he keeps kind of leaning back a little bit. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, it's like the heels are like over. Like this one in particular, you can see it's not quite sitting level. It should be sitting like this and sitting kind of up a little bit. So yeah, mine at least, it kind of has a tendency to kind of want to lean back a little bit. It's not horrible, but it is noticeable. So I have to kind of like counterbalance it a little bit. Yeah. Overall, not too bad. In fact, pretty good. My biggest complaint is simply the axe doesn't, yeah, the axe doesn't hold in place very well, and he can't hold the, you know, the shield in any sort of, in his hand very well either for some reason. Like, really bad oversight there, guys. Like, the peg's so shallow, he can't hold it in his hands very well, and I double-checked it. It's like, there's no way to move the thumb out of the way. It's just, yeah. I mean, theoretically, I guess if you turn the hand over, double-checking this, but yeah, if you turn the hand over or something, you can hold it a bit better. Well, there's another peg here. It makes me wonder, is there a way to kind of cheat this? Nah, that's still no good. I was hoping maybe, but no. So yeah, that's yeah, that's the weapons. Doesn't have a lot, and one of them's functionality isn't fully complete, which kind of sucks. I don't know what the heck happened there. The only thing here is just simply the peg needed to be long. If the peg was just a bit longer, this would be fine, but it's not. Again, this tab right here, which I thought was maybe for this. Maybe it is for that. Maybe it's to make it hold higher, but no. No, it doesn't really fit in there, but no. Okay, whatever. Yeah, overall, very good looking robot mode. The, you know, one of the weapons works really well. Well, the shield works well as a shield, doesn't work well as a gun. The sword works well, and the axe is not great. The axe isn't holding super great, and as a gun, the shield, the short shotgun shield thing doesn't really, you can't really hold it. So yeah, some comparisons, real quick. Actually, This is a good thing to talk about this right now. That Bingo Sports Optimus, give you an idea there, that's a deluxe based on crosshairs, but yeah, you know, it's supposed to be like whatever. And this is what I was talking about. Remember I was talking about complaining about the gray, you know, I was saying it wasn't so bad in person, but I was wishing it was a couple shades darker. This is the kind of thing I was talking about. If this plastic right here was this shade of gray, this would be a lot better looking overall, but it's one reason they went with this lighter shade of gray, so it looks worse. But yeah, if it was just this shade of gray, this would be fine. But nope, they went with this weird light shade of gray and ruined it. Well, not ruined, quite ruined it, but you know what I mean. That's what I'm meaning. That's what I was meaning by that. So there's that. And it's not quite the same movie because apparently there's some slight differences, but here's the old Last Night Optimus. Which, yeah, it's tall. It's slightly taller. This was also a Voyager, but this is a lot more complicated. I can tell you that. This has a lot more complicated stuff and has better articulation and has better overall paint apps. Like this is missing the gold, they're missing the red here. Like they're missing the side skirts and all. And there's no flames here and so on and so forth. Yeah, so it definitely doesn't quite have the same correct coloration. Plus, you know, I would argue its kibble in some ways looks a lot worse. So, yeah. Also, the sword's wrong and the shield's weird, and yeah, so that's the thing. So overall, great figure in my opinion. Accessories mixed bag there, but yeah. So as for transformation though, what you got to do there is actually there's some cool stuff going on here. So first things first is you want to come back here and you want to go ahead and lift this up right there. Then go ahead and untab these parts and straighten these out like so, right? Like that. You go ahead and lift this whole thing up, and this part you want to bring the hood down right here and unclips. Yeah, it's kind of sometimes a little difficult to get this to clip back up in robot mode, but it can be done. And you pull the grill out right here. You bring down the windows and the doors right there, like so. And then you bring the roof over top, and right here, there's a tab here. We'll go in the little slot in the roof, like that. And you just kind of then go ahead and rotate it around right there. As you see, that's the part you can remove it from if you want to go ahead and remove the backpack. You can remove it. It's right there. You'll have this little stalk kind of sticking out a little bit, but you know, it does eliminate the backpack. But regardless, rotate that around right there. And right here, you want to go ahead and come down here at the torso and lift this up right there. This part's going to be a little bit annoying because it likes to pop itself off instead of removing properly. You need to kind of get this past. You need to lift it up properly so that will get past the shoulder bits. Lift this up right here, and then right here, you want to fold this piece up, and this tab will go into that slot right there. Just fold that up right there, like that. Head will just kind of sit there right there, and then go ahead and take the arms and move those out, like so. Then right here, what you want to do is take these pieces, and you want to move those up. Then take the hip skirt and move that up. Then take this whole thing right here, untab it, and bring it up around this. Bring it up, and bring it up. There we go, like that. This going to make sure this chest piece is up high enough, like that. And then you go ahead and bring this down, like this. And you see right here, there's a whole thing. This probably will come untabbed on its own, but yeah, that's what the problem was. Yeah. So you untab this part, and then this will go up all the way, and that's what it was. Then you can bring this down. You see this? It folds down. It comes down like that. Make sure this can go all the way, and then you bring this down. Use the hinges to bring it down over top, and then these bits right here, the little slots right here, which this will tab into right there on both sides, like so. You go in that front right there. Now, you go ahead and take this piece right here. You want to go ahead and bring this up, and this will tab in right here like that. Okay. Now, here, what you want to do is fold these a little bit. You know, get the arms out of the way, kind of just get them out of the way, and then yeah, fold this a little down a little bit so you can properly extend this out. Right? Extend this out and then bring it back up like this. Like that. Same thing over here. Fold this over so you can extend this out, then bring it back up like that. Now the arms here, what you want to do is you want to bring them up like this, then rotate the bicep 180. Fold up the arm, use both elbow joints. Right here, there's a tab right here, which will go in the slot on the arm like that. That's what that slot's for. You want to bring the little shoulder bit up right here. And this tab right here will go into a little slot on the shoulder bit. Sometimes it doesn't like to stay in place. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it's fine. But yeah, there you go right there. Again, same thing. Bring this up. Rotate the bicep. Fold up the arm. Tab it into the panel right there. Bring this up and around, and then tab the shoulder bit into the tab right there. And see what I mean? It's right now it's keeps popping itself back out. There. Then you would take the arms here and those hinges and bring it up like so. They'll tab together like that. And then also you want to bring this in right here. There's a little notches for these to go in. Could be weird. You might have to do it like one at a time and then tab them together like that. And then tab them together like that. See? Now you got most of the front of the cab done. And down here at the legs, what you want to do here is you want to bring the foot, the toe and heel down like that on both of them. Rotate that around like that. Then you want to go ahead right here. Yeah, I want to untab this from the side like this. And also rotate at the waist 180 degrees like that. And then rotate right here at the thigh sole like so. And then bring this up like so. Bring that up. Bring that forward like this. And then bring that forward like that. Then down here what you want to do is untab this bit. Bring it down. Bring this out like so. And bring it forward like so. And then go ahead and flip this out. And then close this back up right here like that. And pretty much do the same thing on this side. Rotate this in. Bring this out and bring it up like so. Pull it up. Bring this out. Bring this forward. Bring this forward. Kind of get it all lined up. Then bring this down right here. Bring this forward a bit. Like this. Use again, there's double hinges right here, so bring it forward a bit, close this back up. Yeah, bring this, before you close that up, bring this around, then close that up. There we go. Then you go ahead and tab this all together. There's a tab right here. There's like multiple tabs on the hitch. There's tab right here. Getting that all tabbed together like that. Stay tabbed together. Sometimes it's a bit finicky, at least mine is. This is parts finicky. Be finicky. And then this right here, you want to make sure these tab will tab together up here. All tabs together like that. That. And then go ahead and bring this down right here. And this will kind of come over top, and there's a slot here, the tab there, and these will kind of, there's multiple, you can see there's kind of tabs here, and those kind of feed to each other like that. Like this. Make sure that all lines up properly. There we go. Like so. Yeah, make sure the feet here, you know, that tabs in right there. Again, that tabs in right there. Make sure this is all straightened out. Again, this, the good chance this will come undone. I've noticed this will come undone multiple times so the whole thing is together. And then make sure that's all straightened out. Let's bring this forward and this will tab in. It's gonna sit right there, and tab will tab in right there like that. And then on this side again, make sure this is also hinged all the way back so it's up against the wheel well. And so you can then tab it in right there. That came undone, which is weird. And that's coming undone. That's never happened before. There we go. And there, it's all tabbed together. And with that, you have Optimus Prime in his truck mode. Truck mode here, yeah. Honestly, I like it. It's the, well, Age of Extinction and Last Night truck mode. You got the blue and red right here, flames, all that stuff. The big old silver bumper picked out. You got the little tiny Autobot symbol right there on the grill. Blacked out windows and everything. You got the silver right here up top. You got the triple smokestack thing on each side. You got the gray going all the way down with the gas tanks and everything. You got a trailer hitch. Actually pretty empty back area, which is kind of more or less close to what it's supposed to be. That's not fully tabbed in. Yeah, never mind this side particular doesn't, I'm noticing this doesn't tab in super well on this side. This one tabs in pretty securely. This one's a little loose, unfortunately. I can't figure out what that problem is. There's taillights molded in, but no picked out. Nothing picked out in paint. Got silver rims and everything. it looks pretty good overall. I mean, you can kind of see the fists right there if you look real close, but you know, you have to kind of look pretty closely. And yeah, it generally cleans up pretty well, I would say. It's real good overall, and it rolls pretty decently too. It rolls pretty decently, and yeah, transformation getting here was actually also, honestly, if you don't have a camera with you, it's actually pretty fun. It's pretty involved. It's actually pretty involved and pretty fun, and yeah, it actually cleans up really well, because yeah, you have to kind of, you know, uncompress everything in a way that's like actually really interesting and minimizes some of the kibble that the last night version that I have, you know, had, which kind of I think justifies its bump up to leader class. It's a really good, it's a fairly solid thing overall. Yeah, so it rolls pretty well and everything, and yeah, it's pretty good. I generally like it. There's even little things like, yeah, you can see the Western Star like right there, and right here it says what was it? Something, what number is that? 5800? 5700? OP? Something like that? Yeah. That's pretty cool. But, top of that, weapon storage, you can take the, axe thing, there's a tab right here. It's actually on either side, but you can take it and just, tab it right there. And it's for the sword and shield. You can basically, you know, this little scabbard thing. Yeah, this way, because it holds in from mine. It holds in. Yeah, there we go. Take the sword here, and you know, you can slot it into this little area back here, and you know, plug it into the hitch. And of course, the hitch might come undone because yeah, there's not a lot holding it. And then plug the shield on top of that. And there you go. You got weapon storage. It's not super elegant, but it's something. So hooray, weapon storage. I'm gonna pull this off though, because a couple comparisons, actually before comparisons, one thing is, you know, yeah, the trailer hitch right there is compatible with any of the trailers. So here's MP44, or not MP44, wow. Here's S Studio Series Optimus, and guess what? It works. Works pretty much perfectly. I mean, this tire you can see is kind of lifted off a little bit, but almost perfect. So yeah, I think it's lifted off just slightly, but it pretty much works. The only, yeah, you can see though that tire is not touching the ground. That tire is not touching the ground right there, but it works pretty well overall. Might be the thing, this bit is a little too shallow, but yeah, it might be this. I feel like maybe this is a little too shallow, so it can't go all the way, but it works well enough. I feel that works well enough, and yeah, this would also assume, this would also mean that the Earthrise trailer is also compatible, but it's going to be kind of small compared to this truck. I think this is like the perfect size. So there you go. If you're wondering, it's mostly compatible. It's like the hitch is just a little too shallow for it to be fully compatible. So it kind of lifts the trailer off just a smidge. But anyway, some comparisons, real quick. Again, here's a Bingo Sports Optimus. Again, it gets in car mode, just why not? Definitely not on scale. The car's a little too big compared to the truck, but you know, I just did it because why not? I had it here. But and here's the comparison with the old Last Night Voyager. You see, they're actually roughly the same size. That's in vehicle mode, which, you know, gonna have people screaming about, you know, this was a Voyager, this is a later, how dare you? But yeah, again, this thing's really simple. You can see, you know, lack of paint. You know, you can see the, you know, it's simpler paint job. You can see the lack of paint on the rims. You can, it's got a trailer hitch. That's something. See the back end there. You know, it's a little bit different. There's more detail on the back end on this one. Yeah, it's just, this is also lighter. This is definitely lighter than this one. This one's heavier for sure. So yeah, so this basically has more articulation, higher part count, better paint. It's heavier versus this. This is still pretty good. I still like it, but yeah, you can see, and also weirdly enough, you can see, I don't know if you can see it as well on the camera, but there's definitely some weird metallic swirl thing going on there, which this doesn't have as bad. Yeah, this has the metallic blue paint, but again, it's yeah, you can see it's way simpler. So yeah, this is just a better figure. And also, yeah, feel like, yeah, I feel like this is generally a better figure than the Last Night version. Now, apparently, the rumblings are swirling when they're going to release the Nemesis Prime version, which is going to be interesting because in the movie, Nemesis Prime, the only difference was, well, the Last Night, I know they changed the forearms for the Last Night just slightly, you know, made it, changed how the forearms looked in the Last Night, and, well, with the Nemesis Prime, all they did was basically add a red stripe to his face and make his eyes glow purple, so I don't know what, a Nemesis Prime repaint would be not much different from this one. It'd be basically a remolded forearm and a new head. Unless they decide to go with that weird fan interpretation of, you know, the black with green, the kind of teal flames, which would be cool, but that's not movie actors. I don't know what they're going to do, but apparently that's going to be a thing, so we'll see how that works. So yeah, it's going to be largely the same toy as this. So yeah, this is a leader class toy, so it means $55 for now. So is it worth it? If you like the movies, again, if you like the movie designs, it might be worth it. But yeah, again, if you're not into the Bayverse stuff in the slightest, this is not going to help at all. I think it is a better toy than the old Voyager, but well, that was an old Voyager versus this is a modern leader. It's the same size, but it's a little more complicated. It's denser. It has a couple more accessories than that one. It has one extra accessory, or I guess two extra accessories, and one of the accessories is better. Like, man, I didn't even mention that. Like look at the shields. Like, seriously, look at the shields. This is so much better. Look at the swords even. I didn't mention that either. Look at the swords. Yeah, it just has the accessories, has slightly more accessories and has better accessories. You know, so there's that. It's slightly better accessories. It has slightly more accessories. It's got a better paint job. It's just, basically they made a pretty significant, a whole bunch of little improvements over the Last Night toy. So that's the big thing. And also, if you know, the old Age of Extinction leader was like, if you remember that, how horrible the backpack was and everything, how simplistic it was. So, yeah, this is definitely, I think I don't have that one, but I definitely think this is a better toy by far. You know, it may not be, unless your primary metric is size, then I guess technically the old one is better, but yeah. I think this is just a better toy than the old one. This is not me, you know, slagging off the old Last Night figure. I still like it, but yeah, this is just generally better. I think they really, it's not like one major improvement. It's a bunch of little improvements that really, I think, justify bumping it up to leader class just to be able to get those in. So yeah, I think personally it's worth it, but you may disagree. But you know, you saw what you saw. Make your own judgment accordingly. I can only tell how I feel. Which is, I like it and I don't regret this. It's a pretty good figure and it was pretty fun to go kind of, when I got it, just kind of sit there and swap it back and forth and everything. The only thing is, out of the box, it might be slightly mistransformed. You're going to have to do a little bit of tidying up, but it's not too difficult. Yeah, it's a fun toy. It's a good-looking toy. Of course, my other complaint is the axis doesn't tab in super well. He can't use the shield as the gun because it just falls out of his hand because the peg's too shallow. And yeah, other than that, it's solid. So that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.